So hello and welcome everyone. In this section, let's install and download all the software that we're going to need throughout the development cycle of our application. So first and foremost, we need Node.js installed. So just head to official Node.js website and download it. It's pretty straightforward. Just follow the commands, choose the platform that you're on. If you're on Windows, just open up a PowerShell. If you're on Linux, just copy this entire clipboard and paste it in your terminal. Since I'm already having Node installed, so this is not going to do much, but for you it might take some time. And you can see that we are using NVM. So if I were to talk about NVM, so NVM is nothing but your Node version manager. What NVM does is that it allows you to maintain multiple or install multiple versions of Node in your system. For example, right now I'm having, if I were to do something like NVM ls, then you can see that I'm on version 24 at the moment, while I am also having version 16, version 21, and 22 subsequently installed. Now, why do we need multiple versions? For example, let's say that you're running a legacy project that was developed when Node version 20 was released. So, if there are some features that were only deprecated after that version that are no longer in your current versions, based on all those requirements, you might need different packages or different versions that you're using. If I were to head to releases node, let's say release for JS, I'll be getting a catalog of all the release version numbers. For example, version 0, version 5, 6, 7, and all the way up to 25. If I were to focus on the first release, then the first or the initial version was released on February 6, 2015. It has reached end of life. So end of life means it is no longer being maintained. And you should always avoid packages or version numbers that are at the end of life. So for example, if I were to choose a node version right now, I'll be just heading to 20 core because it is active and LTS. LTS means long-term support. Maintained LTS, it means it's under maintenance. That means there are receiving just right now. If I were to head to details, then you can see that version 22, there are minor version numbers upgrade. For example, version 22.0, 22.21.1, and it is releasing or receiving updates at the moment. While in the case of end of life, that means it is no longer being actively maintained. If there are some vulnerabilities inside of it, then your application is susceptible or vulnerable. Now, when talking about choosing a version number, the other important facet is always go with the even numbers, because the release cycle of Node is something like in which they would like to use a feature in the odd versions, and once it has been marked stable, then it has been completely integrated into the next version. So in the case of version 24, which is our active LTS, then we have version 25, that is the current version, but it's an odd number. So you can see that first released, it was on October 15, 2025. If you were to focus on, let's say, the first release of the previous odd numbers, then you can see they all have reached end of life. For example, version 23 has reached end of life, but in the case of version 20, it's still actively maintained. So always go with the even number of versions and that are active LTS. If you're not having any dependencies on the packages that are, let's say, obsolete. Now, they also have a code name. So if I were to just focus on the code name, that is krypton, jod, iron, hydrogen, gallium, fermium, erbium. So our periodic table, jod, I think is per iodine. After that, just head to a code editor. You can use any code editor of your choice. I prefer to use Visual Studio Code because it comes with a lot of plugins. Just download your Debian file or your Windows and your Mac OS and install it. It's pretty straightforward. Then we need to have Docker. So Docker is a requirement that we're going to have. This is going to allow us to not have pain in our head for minor config issues. So it is definitely going to come in handy. Just head to install Docker Desktop and download it for your Windows, your Mac, or your Linux, and then we are good to go. After that, we need to have Python installed. As discussed earlier, we'll be using Python for our resume passing, and then we need to have Go. Again, the installation steps are pretty straightforward. Just download your package and install it. And that's about it. This is all that we are going to need. If there are any future upgrades, I'll just inform that as well.